Hello everyone. Plan for this recording is to talk through circles. How to graph them, how to find equations, what is a circle, etc. So on the screen there is the equation for a circle, and we're going to use the definition of a circle just to kind of give us a feel for why that equation makes sense. Okay? So I'll give you a second to write that down, or you can hit pause. Just hit pause and come back when you have it written down. So in general, let's just say, let me look back at that equation first and explain it for a second. H and K are the centers of my circle. Okay? So that H and that K is the center of my circle, and R is the radius of the circle. Now, let's take that to a graph. And let's think about what the definition of a circle is. We just said that H and K are the centers of my circle. Not centers, the center of my circle. I'm going to pick some random XY coordinate out here. There's XY. Okay, well, let me put it on the line to make it easier to see. But let's just say I don't know it's sitting right there at 7, 8. It's just some point sitting out there. Now, in general, if we think back from our geometry class, wherever we had it, whenever we had it, if I drew a little triangle out of this thing, and I have a circle with a center right there, and it goes out to right there, what's the definition of a circle? Isn't it the set of all points the same distance away from a center point? Every single point on that circle has the exact same radius. And this point right here, or this line, that distance right there is my R. The distance from here to here is R, correct? So if we think back to a right triangle in geometry, what is the relationship between the three sides of a right triangle? It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? This length down here is A, this length here is B, and the hypotenuse is C. Well, we know by definition, we just said the hypotenuse is called R. So there's my C squared. Well, what's the length of that A? What is the distance from here to here? Well, this distance right here, or that point there, is X. Right? Same distance as that one right there. And this X coordinate is H. So isn't the distance between these two X coordinates the length of A? From this X value to this X value is how long that line segment is. So A squared. And the distance from this Y value to this Y value, so that Y value right here is K, and this Y value up there is Y. So it's Y minus K. And we have, by definition, or using the definition, we have our generic equation for a circle. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. All right, let's use that equation right above it. Now let's graph that thing. Get rid of all of this. Graph that thing. So my center is at 2, negative 3. H equals 2 and k equals a negative 3. Why did I switch the signs? That says x minus 2, so why did I pick h to be a positive 2? And it says y plus 3, why did I pick k to be a negative 3? Because it says x minus h is my generic form. Well, if h is a positive 2, then I get x minus 2. And it says y minus k. Well, if k is a negative 3, then I get y plus 3. Because y minus a minus 3 is equal to y plus 3. All right, what's my radius? This 9 is equal to r squared, right? So my r value is 3, or my radius is 3. So I start when x is 2 and y is a negative 3. That's my center of my circle. And I'm going to go out 3 units in every direction. Now, the easiest way to go out is horizontally and vertically. So I'll do that first. I go out 3 in each direction horizontally. and I go up 3, and I go down 3. So there's 4 points on my circle. Pretty hard to figure out where 3 is, but it's somewhere out in here, right? If I go out in an angle, but it's pretty hard to see. So I'm just going to do my best to get a nice circle through those 4 points. Or if you have a smartboard, you can cheat. You can grab your tool and you can make a nice circle between all those points. Okay? Try another one. Let's try x plus 1 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 16. Hit pause, give it a try, come back when you think you got it. Sketch a graph. First step, what is h and what is k? H is the x-coordinate of my center. I need that. It's a -1. The y, or the k, is the y-coordinate of my center, and it's a +3. I need that. What is r? R squared is 16, so r must be 4. Why? Because 4 squared is 16. Plot the center, -1, +3. Go out 4 units in every direction. 4 units right, 4 units left, 4 units up, 4 units down, and get as close as you can, and let's sketch a nice circle. Okay? Not great, but there you go. It works. That's how you graph a circle. All right, let's go backwards. Now I'll give you the circle, and you tell me the equation. No, I don't want that. All right, give me the equation for that circle. Okay, first thing, where's my center? Looks like the center is right there. How do I know? Well, it has to go the same distance out in every direction, right? So let's just count. So there's my center. I'm going to go out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Looks like 5 is my radius. Looks pretty good. That's the center. X coordinate's 3, y coordinate's a -5. X minus 3 squared plus y plus 5 squared equals, we just said 5 is the radius, so this is 25. And we're done. All right, that shouldn't be too bad. Let's do one harder. Graph that. Kind of hard. Not in the right form, is it? So we need to do something called completing the square. We did it on a previous video. If you forgot, I will walk through the first one, and you get the second one. First step, let's group all of my x's together, and let's group all of my y's together. And let's get rid of that 11, get rid of the constant, move it to the other side. So I'm going to put x squared minus 4x, and I'll have plus y squared plus 8y, and get rid of the 11. Notice I left a space after the x and after the y. Did that on purpose. We are going to add something to make my x terms a perfect square and my y terms a perfect square. What's a perfect square? It's a set of 3 numbers, or it's a trinomial that will factor into something squared. It'll factor into 2 factors that are exactly the same. Definition of a perfect square. So, what do I have to add? Remember my rule. I take the coefficient of x, divide it by 2, and square it. I take the coefficient of, in this case, y, divide it by 2, and square it. Now, what I do to the left-hand side, I have to do to the right-hand side to balance the equation out. So I added 4, and I added 16, so I have to add that to the right-hand side. Now, this over here factors into x minus 2 times x minus 2, which is x minus 2 squared. This factors into y plus 4 times y plus 4, which is y plus 4 squared. The right-hand side, I get a negative 7 plus 16 is 9. Sketch your graph. Right 2, down 4, out 3 in every direction. And sketch a circle through those points. And that was horrible because I need to label my axis. Okay? Completing the square to find the equation for a circle. All right, I had to pause to get a new one up there. I forgot to write another one down. Your turn. Give it a try. Hit pause and then come back. Okay, first step, group my x's. Group my y's. Get rid of my constant. Divide the coefficient of x by 1 and square it. Divide the coefficient of y by, divide the coefficient of x by 2 and get 1 and square it. Divide the coefficient of y by 2 and square it. Add both of those to the right-hand side. Factor, that factors into x plus 1 times x plus 1. This factors into y minus 2 times y minus 2, and that adds up to 9. Center is at negative 1, 2. My radius is 3, and I'll assume you can graph that. Okay, that is circles.